Today we're making an onshape assembly, an assembly of the automata box, where we're taking pieces of the box and putting them, assembling them, mating them together. So let's first look at your assignment in Google Classroom. I have given you the 4 pieces of the box. There's actually 5 pieces because there's 2 of the 4x4 pieces. And so what you first need to do is you need to click on the side, bottom, top of the box, the pieces, and you need to simply download them because there's nothing to preview. You just need to get them onto your laptop. So click on each one of those in Google Classroom, click on download, and you'll get something that will look something like this. You'll only have 4 different pieces. I have many more, which we'll get to later. So anyways, the next thing you need to do is you need to get these pieces into your Onshape program. So if you go to Onshape, and yours looks something like this, you need to import those. You click up here in the upper left-hand corner where it says Create, Import Files, and then I am going to click on all of these. In fact, I won't because since I already have them done, I'll just click on one, and then it asks, are you importing to a single document? Yes. Okay. And it will upload those files. If you look in my automata folder, you'll see that I have all these pieces. All right. Okay, so now you need to make your start your assembly drawing. So you go back to the Create menu, and you can create a new document as usual. I would type automata assembly. I would put your name and then today's date. All right, so your workspace should open. It should look just like you've always done, where you drew. But instead of drawing a part like you've done in the past, you're going to click down here onto where it says this tab called Assembly 1. Because this is going to be an assembly. You're not drawing parts, you're assembling the parts. All right, the next thing you need to do is you need to insert the parts you downloaded earlier that you uploaded into Onshape. So you click on Insert. You're inserting from other documents. My documents are all in my Onshape. My pieces of wood, the parts of the automata, are in the automata directory. Now each of these is a different part of the box. This happens to be the bottom piece, so this 4x5 piece. So I'm going to click on that first. Click on the item itself, and it appears in my assembly drawing. I would click to place, click check to finish the insertion. And now if I click on it, I have the ability to orient it to the way it should be. And if this is the bottom piece of a box, it shouldn't be standing up. So I'm going to rotate it in this direction so that it will be sitting down. You'll notice it gives me an angle of rotation. I can specify exactly how much I want it to rotate. 90 degrees seems appropriate. I hit enter and I click away. All right, the first thing you want to do is you want to fix this bottom piece because you don't want it to move. So I'm going to click on part 1, which that is, and then right click on it and come down to about the 7th item down and click fix. And now this is fixed and I don't get that window that option to move it. Okay, so you need to assemble it. If we go into my Onshape drawings, I'll show you what you're trying to make it look like. So this is almost a finished product. You'll notice that the top piece of wood is sitting on the side pieces, and that the side pieces are sitting on top of the bottom piece. The back piece of wood will go underneath the top, on top of the bottom, and inside the 2 side pieces. All right, let's go back to the drawing that we were just doing. All right, so I'm just going to pan down by hitting the control button and then my right mouse key, my right mouse button. Okay, so now I'm going to insert other pieces. I'm going to insert the side pieces. So again, I come up here to the upper left-hand corner and click Insert. I go to Other Documents in this window. They are residing in my onshape. They are residing in a folder called Automata. All right, the side pieces are the 4x4 pieces, so I'm going to click on them. I'm going to click on it again, and now it places it into my drawing. I'm going to click somewhere where it seems appropriate. There doesn't seem too bad. And then I'm going to click on the check mark to finish the insertion. Let's pan over. Okay, so again, this is not oriented, so it's at the side, one of the sides of the bottom piece. So why don't we click on it so we can rotate it? This looks like the angle that I wish to rotate about, the axis about which I wish to rotate. I need to type in the exact rotation angle, hit enter. These rectangles allow you to move it, the object. This seems like not a bad place, and I know this from experience, and I'll show you why in a moment. So now click away. Now it seems like it's an approximate location. So now what we need to do is mate these two. We're going to mate the bottom of this right piece. Specifically, we're going to mate this edge, the center of this edge. This right piece is going to sit on top of this, and this right edge of the right side needs to mate with the right top edge of this bottom piece. So I'm going to mate the center of this edge to the center of this edge. The mate functions are up here near the top on the left. There is different types of mates. I'm going to use the fasten mate. These two are going to be fastened to each other. Okay, so this window is asking you now what two points are you specifically mating? So since this is in the right orientation for us to show where to mate on this one, I would start with this bottom surface. Okay, so do you notice when I hover over, it gives me an axes and then this circle. These axes, the circle is in an XY plane if you look at the view cube, and that's the surface upon which I'm mating. So that's the circle that I want. I don't want this circle. If I move over here and get this direction, I'm not mating onto that plane. I'm mating onto this plane, so I want that circle to be in that axis. So now I click on the circle. Now it knows where I want to mate on this surface, the bottom surface. Now where do I mate on the right panel? Well, let's go find that surface. It's at the bottom, we can't see it. So you need to click, zoom in, control right mouse to pan. Okay, so again, I want this bottom face to mate onto the top of that bottom piece of wood. And I want this outside edge to mate with the outside edge that I just clicked on earlier on that bottom panel. So again, I want my circle that I'm hoping to appear in a second. And maybe if you have to zoom in again. I need it to be see how that's an XY? That's what I want. Now it's on the edge that I want. So now I hit click. And now I finish the mating. I'm going to zoom out, pan over, and now look, I've put the right panel onto the bottom panel. Let's now continue with the top panel by inserting again. I go to Other Documents in this window. It's in my onshape. It's in my automata folder. It's this piece here, the 4x5 piece top. I click on it. I click on the diagram of the object. It appears in my window. That looks like a fine place to have it, somewhere like that. So I can click now and click to finish. But again, the orientation's not what I want. This should be more horizontal like the bottom piece. So I click on it. It now gives me the ability to rotate this. I don't want 35 degrees, I want 90 degrees, so I type that in and hit enter. Okay, again, these rectangles allow me to move it, so that seems like the right thing to do. And click away. Okay, so now I'm mating the bottom of this top piece to this top face of the right side. So I'm going to come over here to my mates. I click on Fasten Mate. I'm going to zoom in. Since this surface is in the right orientation for me, I'm going to start with this one. I hover over until I get the XY axes with the circle on the XY axis. See how that is? And I wanted this edge, so I waited until it was highlighting this edge. Okay, now I need the bottom. So you can't be lazy, you got to go and find it. Let's zoom in a little bit. I want this surface to mate with the top of my right plane. Okay, let's try to find the right angle here to do this. Sometimes you just have to move a little bit. Okay, that looks like that might work for me now. All right, so again, I want this surface, but I want this outside edge. I want my axis to be this XY one. It looks like it's an XY one. I want it on this edge, and I click inside the circle. I click check to finish. And let's see if we can get the front. Okay, so now this top piece is resting on this, and the bottom of this top piece is resting on the top of this. All right, so you'll continue with another side piece and then the back piece to finish the assembly. Thank you for listening.